Welcome everybody to NAB Stadium in Auchenflower as the Brisbane Capitals host the Townsville Heat with all the marbles on the line here. If Brisbane wins this matchup, they finish first on the ladder and will win the minor premiership for the second year in a row. If Townsville can get the win, they'll finish second on the ladder and have a home quarterfinal, and if they can win that, a home semifinal. It's a huge matchup, and we're happy to present it to you here on Live Sport Australia and Nothing But Net Media. I'm John Guarna. I'm joined by Regan Baker. This one is for all the marbles, Regan. It's going to be a great matchup.
Yeah, absolutely so, and it really does have such big finals impact as well. So whatever happens here tonight, we're going to have a great game regardless, and as much as both teams are going to end up in the top four, both teams want to get that one position up from where they are now. So it's got huge implications, and it's going to be such an incredible showdown as well. You got a welfare of NBL talent on the Townsville team, and this Brisbane team has been established for 4 or 5 seasons running. So you've got a wealth of talent both ends of the court, and it's going to be a great one.
Yeah, I was talking to Rod Anderson, the coach of the Townsville Heat, before the game. They came out a bit flat last night, and Sunshine Coast Phoenix were able to pull off the upset. They couldn't Rod said they couldn't get their feet under them. Sunshine Coast played a great game. His boys did not perform, so he's going to be expecting a much better performance from his troops today. Last night, the Capitals had a tough game against the USC Rip, a game that we presented to you live on Nothing But Net Media and Live Sport Australia. I was talking to Coach Tarrant. He was really happy with the performance. It was a really tough Rip outfit that they had to compete against last night. Really happy with the win. He knows, and his team knows, that if they win this, they're the minor premiers for the second year in a row. Do you think there's a little added pressure with that hanging above them?
Yeah, I definitely believe so. And like we were discussing before the game as well, the fact that this will get them the minor premiership. Zach Carter's coming back from injury explicitly to play tonight because they want to get that minor premiership, and he wants to be a part of that team. So there'll be a lot of pressure coming into the Capitals. We've got a great crowd turning out as well because they want to see their team get into that first place.
Yeah, the ladder has somewhat steadied here on the men's competition at least. In the 8th spot, we're going to have the Rockhampton Cyclones. 7th spot is Logan Thunder. Here's where it gets a little bit tricky. I believe it's Cairns at the moment in the 6th spot. 4th and 5th, it's going to be dependent on the outcome of the Southwest Metro Pirates and the Brisbane Spartans. Southwest wins, they jump up into 4th, and they'll have a home final against the 5th spot. I have to look at the ladder again. But, again, I'm still a little confused. At the end of the day, though, the top 3 spots are going to be filled by the Brisbane Capitals, by the Mackay Meteors, and the Townsville Heat. The outcome of this game, though, will determine that. Like we said, if Brisbane wins, they are the minor premiers, and they have home court advantage all the way and including the grand finals if they can get there. If Brisbane loses, they drop down to the 3rd spot, and they'll have a home quarterfinal, possibly also a home semifinal. Who knows? If Townsville wins, they'll go up to the 2nd spot, and they'll have a home quarterfinal, and if they can win that, a home semifinal. And that's right, the 5th spot is going to be filled by the Rip. So Rip and Cairns, I'm not sure who has the split on that. At the moment, though, if Southwest wins today, they lock up the 4th spot, and they'll probably play either Rip, USC Rip, or Cairns, depending on the outcome of today's game. It's still really confusing. At the end of the day, though, we know Brisbane wins. They're the minor premiers. If they lose, it's going to be Mackay as the minor premiers, followed by Townsville and Brisbane.
Yeah, it's been very confusing this season with this new ladder structure where we're not doing pools anymore. It is just straight up, top to bottom, and the top 8 are the ones that go through, which I much prefer this system. It's a little bit confusing with how the splits work and who goes where, but I think it's a much fairer system because it means that those northern teams, which, let's be honest, they have the money, they have the talent. So it just means that all those northern teams, which rightfully so should be in the top 8, they can have that access to it without this pool structure where, you know, in seasons past, teams have gotten into the quarterfinals where, you know, they've finished in 11th on the ladder, but because of the pool structure, they've got themselves in. So much fairer system, still trying to get used to it, but it's going to be a great game regardless. And like I was saying at the end of the women's game as well, Johnny, we're going to have some great coverage in the quarters, the semis, and all 3 games of the finals because no matter what happens, we're going to have some awesome basketball to present to you.
There are going to be some fantastic matchups on both the women's and the men's competition. But at the moment, this one is for all the marbles, like I said. Brisbane needs to win this one to win the minor premiership for the 2nd year in a row and have home court advantage all the way through the grand final if they can make it. I know we're having a couple of issues with the stats. Looks like they put an extra couple of minutes here on the clock as well. So we'll keep it here, Regan. What do you think, though? Capitals coming in off of a tough matchup last night. with the rip.
Yeah.
What's it going to be like to back up on a Sunday afternoon after having such a tough matchup on the Saturday night?
I think it's going to be hard for both teams. You know, both playing a very late game last night, 8 p.m. We didn't get out of the stadium until 10 o'clock at night. I know we got feedback from Paul Foster earlier saying that it wasn't easy for the Townsville team to jump on a bus at 8 a.m. to get down here to play the games today. So both teams coming off a very difficult game last night. Townsville, this is obviously their third game straight. Brisbane Capitals, this will be their second of the weekend. So both teams coming in, you know, probably a little bit sore, a little bit tired, but it's gonna play, I think, into Brisbane's favour. You know, like you said before, you know, talking to the Townsville coach, they obviously have a bit of a flat game last night. They're only going to come into tonight's game even more exhausted and possibly even a little bit more flat. Whereas Brisbane, they're going to be coming out a little bit more fresh, and I know that Brisbane has the ability to come out absolutely pumping. So either way, it's going to be tough.
Yeah, I'd be shocked if Townsville comes out flat for the second night in a row. They certainly want to win this game and secure that second position. They'd be disappointed with the performance last night. Obviously, they would have preferred to win last night and then have an opportunity to become the minor premiers today. So I'm expecting Coach Anderson and the Townsville Heat to really come out firing on all cylinders. And realistically, almost all the pressure is on Brisbane here. They're the ones with the opportunity to win the minor premiership. They've been there, done that, though, so it should be a great game. Everything is really lining up for it to be a fantastic matchup today.
And that's what I love to see as well, the fact that both teams are going to end in the top 4 positions anyway, the fact that we know today is going to come out, and they're still both going to be fighting as though it was the grand final. Brisbane in particular because they do want to get into that minor premiership position, and Townsville because they want to get that home semi-final. So either way, there's going to be a great game, and it's good to see that the competition as a whole has been so insanely close. So the closer that we can actually get to that, the better.
Yeah, shout out to Coach Rucker for correcting me. I'm assuming that I forgot that Brisbane was not the minor premiers last year because we were here calling the grand final on their home court. It was actually Townsville who were the minor premiers. So shout out to Coach Rucker for the correction. Thanks, Derek. At the end of the day, Brisbane is going to want to win this one to have that minor premiership. It should be a great matchup. We're finally getting set for the opening tip between the Townsville Heat and the Brisbane Capitals. I'm excited for this one. I hope everyone watching is as well.
Yeah, definitely so. I mean, that gives Brisbane even more reason to come out firing. If they weren't the minor premiers last year and they did have the home grand final and they did end up losing it to Townsville, that's even more reason for them to come out absolutely firing tonight.
All right, so Townsville comes out with Anderson, Baker, Crawford, Wiltshire, and we understand that Wiltshire is nursing a bit of a sore wrist. And they've also got Matt Reese. Brisbane's going to respond with Zach Carter, Dusty Reichardt, Princeton Onwis, Aaron Anderson, and Anthony Kopskis. Onwis wins the tip, and Brisbane will have the first opportunity to put some points on the board.
And it's good to see Carter coming out starting 5 as well. I know that he was nursing that injury and didn't play last night. When you told me that he was going to be playing here tonight, I didn't think that he'd actually be starting.
Kopskis hits the first basket.
And straight away gets a delay of game warning as well. Ball went in and has just tapped it away from the basket straight away. So 15 seconds in and we already have a delay of game warning.
So first points to Brisbane. Kopskis had a great game last night versus the Rip. He was really aggressive offensively. Anderson gets tied up. Possession arrow will go towards Townsville. It's a tough entry pass there from Baker to Anderson. Inbounds to Crawford. That's too easy. He ties it up at 2. Anderson finds Carter, who misses the layup. Now Townsville looking to push with Crawford. Looking inside. It's a kick ball on Princeton Onwis.
That's a very unusual mistake by Carter as well.
Crawford from the wing. That's a three-pointer for Crawford. It's 5-2 now for Townsville. I think Coach Anderson be happy. That seems to be a better start than what we saw on paper, at least last night for Townsville.
Yeah, trying to track the statistics last night became a little bit difficult with all the live stats issues we've been having. But it didn't seem like a lot was going Townsville's way. They were taking a lot of shots, but they just didn't seem to be falling in.
Yeah, well, Princeton Onwis got that one to roll home. It did the old toilet bowl action, went around the rim a few times and fell down. So it's 5-4 now for Townsville. Crawford, great look inside. Baker can't finish though. Anderson in the corner, working against Jamel Anderson. Finds Rykart, opposite corner three is good for Dusty Rykart. It's a 2. Tough angle from my side.
It just goes to show Dusty Rykart had an amazing game last night, hitting threes and long bombs from all over town as we retaliate down the other end with Crawford's long three.
It's a 3-point shootout. Kopskas finds, Carter, who lays it in. Brisbane doing a lot of damage here early in transition. It's not at 8.
And as I was saying, John, I mean, Dusty Rykart must have had one of the longest careers I've ever seen on a basketball court as well. Coming out, still firing from deep, and absolutely just putting them away one after the other.
Anderson trying to force his way to the bucket, turns it over. Now Brisbane has an opportunity to take the lead. Onwas looking to go one-on-one with Baker, gets to the bucket and lays it in. Good move there by Onwas. They're going to guard him with Baker. He likes that matchup. Wilcher finds Baker. A lot of contact, no foul, offensive rebound. And there's the foul on the second attempt. It's going to go on Kopskas. You saw Coach Anderson asking the referees, well, why wasn't it the first one? They're going to give him shots on that second foul, so Baker will go to the free throw line for 2. First one for Baker is good. Second one is good as well. Rykart fading away, hits the jump shot. The streak continues and carries over from last night. Rykart on fire here early.
Yeah, I don't think he stopped. He was probably playing basketball in his dreams last night as well, because he's just continued on the same performance from his game last night.
Jamel Anderson missed that one. And there goes Rykart putting it on the deck, going right at Reese. Good block there from Reese. Brisbane recovers though. Now Onwas has it at the elbow, hits Carter, baseline jump shot too strong. Crawford with the D-board. He nearly traveled too.
Yeah, very close.
Anderson, corner three is up. Rolls off the back of the rim and out. Here comes Onwas, one-on-one, goes right at Baker. Left-handed layup, no good, but Baker called for the foul.
Don't really know what he's asking about on that one there. That was quite evidently a big bump in the back as he was going up for the bucket.
Certainly was contact, and Onwas going to go to the free throw line for a couple shots. Onwas hits the first. Second one is up, and that's good as well. So it's 14-10 here for Brisbane over Townsville.
Yeah, Brisbane definitely getting away to a very, very good start here. And I'm sure Townsville's going to respond pretty quickly as Baker goes inside. Nice little bucket on the inside and the N1.
That's a great catch inside by Baker. Nice pass by Wilcher through the traffic. And Baker going to the line for the three-point play opportunity.
I think we're going to see this happening all night as well tonight, John. It's just going to be back and forth. Anything that you can do, I can do better kind of scenario, because neither team is going to want to give up the lead by more than a couple of points.
Baker completes the three-point play, so Townsville trails by 1 with 6:10 to go in the first quarter. Kopskis on the cross-court pass to Anderson. Three-pointers off the front of the rim. Reese comes down with it for Townsville. Baker, another offensive rebound over the back of Carter. Goes right at him, lays it in, plus the foul. Baker doing work on the glass. He's hurt in Brisbane at the moment. 15-14 the lead now for Townsville. Gladstone over Cairns in the women's game, 57-26 at the half. Tabitha Richardson-Smith having a huge game. I think she had 20 in the first quarter in that one.
Oh, wow. Yeah, well, that pretty much cements, if Gladstone gets that win, that cements the women's league. So I think that'll finish at Brisbane Capitals in 7th and Southwest in 8th, I believe. Dusty Reichart going to work on the inside, just picks up the little foul as he tries to go into the keyway.
And Jake Davis checked in for Brisbane. Carter got a breather. Well, getting a breather, I should say. 3 team fouls for Brisbane, 2 for Townsville, with 5:40 to go in the first. Jake Davis working against Crawford. Anderson now gets around the defense, swatted away by Crawford, but Anderson was out of bounds, so Brisbane's got 9 seconds to go on the shot clock. Good help defense there from Peter Crawford. Double-handed swat.
Yeah, huge block.
5 on the shot clock now. Anderson has it with Anderson against him. It's Anderson against Anderson. Left-handed shot by Aaron Anderson's off. Wiltshire comes down with it for Townsville. He's pushing up. Nearly has it swiped by Aaron Anderson. It's going to stay with Townsville. Christian Lamb going to check in for Anthony Kopskis. Lamb had a great game versus the Rip last night. He was on fire from deep.
Yeah, absolutely. Christian Lamb shooting the lights out from three-point land. I think he had 3 or 4 in the end, just absolutely nailing every shot he took.
Jamel Anderson gets up, puts it on the deck. He's fouled by Christian Lamb. It's a blocking foul. It's going to be the 4th team foul against Brisbane. Referee's calling it a bit tight here. I don't mind. They're establishing the rhythm and what they're going to be calling for the afternoon.
Especially in a game like this as well, where this has all of the potential to get very, very physical and very rough in the last half as well. So the tighter they can ream it in to start out with, the better.
Wiltshire working on Reichart. He puts up a shot. He's fouled. It's a tough matchup for Dusty Reichart. It's going to send Wiltshire to the line for a couple shots. It's also the 15th foul, so Brisbane in the penalty with 5 minutes to go in the first.
Yeah, Brisbane definitely struggling. It was a similar situation to last night as well, finding themselves into foul trouble on quite a few occasions. But like you said, Dusty Reichart is going to have a very tough time inside trying to defend, the likes of Baker. Just towers over him.
Matt Reese going to get a breather. Keegan Tudhope checks in for Townsville. Wiltshire hits them both. 18-14 the lead for Townsville with 5 minutes to go in the first. Onwis goes right at the defense, gets the layup to fall plus the foul. That one's going to go, it looks like it's going on Keegan Tudhope. And Onwis is a really tough matchup for Townsville. You've got Jamel Anderson guarding Aaron Anderson, and at the moment, Townsville is struggling to guard Onwis. You got to think that Brisbane's going to recognize that and put the ball in the hands of Prince and Onwis a few more times here in the game.
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, who do you really match up with Prince and Onwis? I mean, I would have thought Crawford probably would have been the better matchup, but he doesn't appear to be covering Onwis. So, yeah, absolutely. There is a little bit of a mismatch going on there. So, they just need to get the balls into the hands of Onwis. He can just drive through the center of the keyway and hopefully get some easy buckets for the Capitals.
Onwis hit the free throw, so it's a 1-point lead for Townsville here. Crawford skips it over to Wiltshire. Wing 3 is up. It's too strong. Another offensive rebound by Baker. Putback is good. That's got to be 3 or 4 offensive rebounds already for Baker so far this afternoon.
Yeah, and Baker already finding his way into double figures on 10 points so far this quarter as well. He's well and truly on his way to a double-double, probably by half-time at this rate.
He might get it in the first quarter at this rate. Who knows, because he just grabbed another defensive rebound. Hope couldn't control the pass. Windsor has it. Dumps it off for Reichart to lay it in. 1 point the lead now for Townsville.
Yeah, nice little dump off from Seb Windsor as well. Just drew the defense out to him and handed off at exactly the right moment to Reichart.
Wiltshire's three hits the front of the rim. Davis comes down with the D-board. There's Anderson on Onwest now. You see Aaron Anderson off the court. Davis corner three is too strong. Baker with another rebound.
I'm really looking forward to seeing Davis play tonight as well. I mean, last night we didn't really get to see much of him when he had 3 fouls in the first quarter. So really keen to see how he comes out and retaliates to that. You know, he's obviously got a lot to make up for last night, so we should hopefully see him fire off today.
Well, Davis just picked up the personal foul. So Josh Wiltshire again will go to the free throw line for a couple shots. Jake Davis picked up the foul. Timeout taken on the floor. We'll take one as well with Townsville up by 1 over the Brisbane Capitals here on another second QBL Game of the Week presented to you by Nothing But Net Media and Live Sport Australia. Back with you here at NAB Stadium in Auchenflower. Timeout taken on the floor. It was a 20-19 lead for Brisbane over Townsville. Looking at the women's games, Tabitha Richardson-Smith with a double-double at the half. She's got 25, 10, and 4 assists as well. Josh Wiltshire at the free throw line for a couple of shots. He was fouled by Jake Davis just before we went to the break. Wiltshire hits the first. And hits the second as well, so lead back up to 3 for Townsville. Onwest working on Tudhope, lays up is no good. Gets his own rebound though, powers it up, and the foul. Onwest using his speed and athleticism to get back up. He's got an opportunity to tie the game up with the free throw attempt.
Yeah, Brisbane's definitely going to struggle in terms of the height and the power here tonight, but they've got the speed. Onwest showing exactly what he's good for right then and there. Getting, I think, 2 of his own rebounds, managing to get the bucket and the and one as well.
And Onwest completes the three-point play, so it's now knotted at 22 with 3:15 to go. Wiltshire has it on the wing. They collapse on him. Over to Crawford. Wing 3 is too short. Foul inside. Let's see who they give this one to. Looks like it might be on Princeton Onwest. He's on the deck, but he is getting called for the personal foul. It's on Baker. So Baker is going to go to the free throw line for 2 shots because Brisbane in the penalty.
Yeah, it's a bit of a repeat of last night in the women's game earlier today as well. Both teams finding themselves into foul trouble.
Princeton Onwest, that's his first personal. Zach Carter's got 2. So no one individually in foul trouble really,
But
except
quite
really
spread
Zach
out.
Carter. But Brisbane in the penalty.
Yeah, so Baker's first free throw bouncing out off the front of the rim. Second one is good though, regaining the lead by 1 for Townsville.
Lamb driving the lane, flips up a wild one. Davis tips it out though to Windsor. Didn't hit the rim, so shot clock doesn't reset. Brisbane's got 7 to go. Windsor kicks it out. Lamb, wing 3 is up. It's off, but Aleknowitz follows for the lay-in.
Great pass. Great pass.
We'll call it a pass. Christian Lamb says it was a pass.
I don't know
see
whether
the look on his face.
I don't know whether the stats team's going to agree with me or not, but that's an assist.
Wiltshire hit the deck, and he's hurt. Brisbane's got a 5-on-4. Davis going to fire a deep three. That's good. And Brisbane goes up 4, 27-23. McCulley has it, dumps it in. Great pass to Baker for the layup. That's a great look there by McCulley.
Yeah, Wiltshire really looking like he's struggling a little bit with that injury as well. Just slowly getting himself down the court. He might need a bit of a rest soon, I think.
Onward shot an air ball, went out of bounds off of Baker. So it's going to stay with Brisbane. Reese going to check back in for Crawford. Wiltshire was hoping that he was going to get a breather. He looked like he was looking for one.
Yeah, well, he's still got a little bit of a smirk on his face just looking at him. So I think it's that bad knee that he's got a guard on, or something just above his knee. Anyway, it doesn't look like it's real healthy at the moment.
He's gonna fight through the pain. Windsor throws up a fadeaway, and he gets it to fall. Brisbane's starting to pull away here. It's 29-25.
Can almost guarantee that Townsville's going to come out with a little bit of a play of their own here. They won't want to get too much further down than by 4, but they turn it over.
It's a foul there on Alecknowitz. He got the steal from Wiltshire. That's going to be Townsville's 5th. So Alecknowitz will go to the free throw line for a couple shots.
Does Alecknowitz know that he's taking free throws? He's kind of just dawdling around like it's a... Don't even think he was quite sure what was going on for a second there.
Wiltshire, that's his first personal. Alecknowitz misses the first. Second one is up. That rolls out, but Onwitz gets the offensive rebound, and Baker fouls him. It's going to be Justin Baker's second personal, and Onwitz going to go to the free throw line for 2 shots.
Yeah, quite a foul-heavy first quarter here. Both teams racking up about 6 or 7 so far.
Pretty high scoring first quarter also.
Very high scoring, yeah. Both teams, like we said, John, it was going to be a great game. We knew that from the get-go. Both teams trying to rack up as many points as possible early on.
They're doing a good job at that. It's 29-25. The minute 30 to go. Princeton Onwitz at the free throw line for 2 shots. Onwitz hits the first. Second one is up and good as well. Six points to lead here for Brisbane. Seen Josh Spears on the court for the first time this afternoon for Townsville. Reese has it on the block. He's double teamed, nearly lost it. Ball's knocked out of bounds by Princeton Onwitz with 8 seconds to go on the shot clock.
I love that Onwitz still tries to claim that it's going to be his ball on that play opportunity as well.
There was no doubt about it. It went off him, but why not give it a go? Wiltshire has it with 4 on the shot clock. Finds Anderson in the corner. He's got to get the shot off. Floats it up, but they're going to call a shot clock violation. Didn't release it in time. That's a turnover for Townsville.
Yeah, very, very close there. Had the right idea and got it to the inside. Just couldn't quite get the ball off his fingertips in time.
Onwitz has it knocked out of bounds by Anderson. Caps have Onwitz, Lamb, Davis, Alecknowitz, and Windsor on the court. Onwitz gets the inbounds. He's guarded closely by Anderson. Skips it over to Windsor. Windsor's going to fire a deep 3. It's too strong. Anderson gets the defensive rebound. Spears puts it on the deck. Kicks it cross court. Jamel Anderson uses a pump fake. Out to Wiltshire. Top of the key 3 is too strong. It's tipped by McCulley, out of bounds though. So Brisbane will get possession.
I think he thought Spears was behind him, tried to tip it to his own teammate. Didn't quite work in his favor though.
Reichart and Carter check in for Onwitz and Alecknowitz.
35 seconds left on the game clock, so 10-second differential between the shot. Brisbane will try and waste as much time as possible to make Townsville rush that last shot of the game.
Aaron Anderson checks in for Christian Lamb. Good push by Anderson over to Reichardt in the corner. Goes behind his back. Cross court, Carter, three is up. Too strong, rolls in and out. Wiltshire gets the defensive rebound. And Townsville will have the last shot of the quarter. Shot clock's off. Wiltshire fouled. It looked ugly. Windsor got in the air and Wiltshire tried to duck underneath it. Got a knee to the back of the head. He's okay. He's going to go to the free throw line for a couple shots.
Yeah, both boys looking okay, but good job of the referees as well, just hanging around to make sure that everything's okay. There's obviously no malice in it. Went up for the block and just jumped a little bit too high, I think Seb Windsor did.
Kopskis checks back in for Brisbane for Seb Windsor. And Ethan Betts getting set to check in for Townsville. I think he's going to be coming in for Wiltshire.
Yeah, I think Wiltshire's had a couple of big knocks. He might need a little bit of a rest coming into the rest of the game.
Missed the first one. Second one is good though for Wiltshire, and Betts will check in for him. So Brisbane's got just about 9 seconds to get a shot off here. Townsville picks up full court. Aaron Anderson hit one buzzer beater last night. Can he do it again? Finds Carter. What a save. Kopskis gets the shot off, but it's no good.
That would have been the play of the day if that went in. Zach Carter catching it essentially out of bounds and throwing it behind his back.
I don't know if it probably would have been a play of the decade, actually, but it's quarter time here in Auchenflower, and Brisbane's up 5, 31-26. We'll take a break, and we'll come back with the second quarter of action here on your QBL Game of the Week, presented to you by Nothing But Net Media and Live Sport Australia. Welcome back to NAB Stadium in Auchenflower at the quarter time break. It's 31-26 for Brisbane over Townsville. Looking at the Capitol statistics, getting it done on the glass, actually. You don't recognize it during the action, but they've got 8 offensive rebounds. Second chance opportunities, they've got 8 points off of that as well. Leading the way is Princeton Onwas. He's got 14 for the Capitals. They shot 43% in that quarter, 58 from 2.
As Aaron Anderson just drains a 3.
And it's only the second three-pointer of the afternoon. They're 2 of 10 from 3 for the Caps. Leading the way for Townsville, Justin Baker's got 13 points and 4 rebounds. Peter Crawford's got 8. They shot 39% from the field, only 25% from 3. Davis's three-pointer is off. Reichardt with an offensive rebound, though. Anderson stops and pops and gets it to fall.
Brisbane really finding their form now, extending the lead out to 10.
He's just fun to watch, Aaron Anderson. He does a little bit of everything. You give him the lane, he'll drive on you. As Spears takes the cross-court pass, hits the three, plus the foul. Josh Spears gets on the board in a big way with a huge bucket as Brisbane was threatening to start to pull away.
Yeah, big 4-point play here for Spears. But as you were saying, Aaron Anderson always performing week in, week out. Probably easily got to be one of my top 3 players of the season. Right up there with the likes of Tanner McGrew, MVP from last year. Aaron Anderson, Tanner McGrew, I don't know who my third is, but 2 of my favorite players that we've covered this season.
It's really going to be interesting to see how the voting goes. We know that they do it throughout the season. I'm talking about, we're going to try and get some player and coaches votes to see who they think the MVP is, because Brisbane's able to win the regular season title. Aaron Anderson has to be in that discussion for MVP.
Oh, 100%.
Reichard hit the 3 on the other end. It's a 8-point lead for Brisbane. Jamel Anderson puts up his 3-pointer. That's good. Cuts the lead to 5.
And then it will be interesting to see who fights for the even more coveted NBN Media and Last Word Australia Player of the Season.
Yeah.
I feel like ours is just as important.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if we can put one out as Reichard hits another 3 from the top of the key this time.
It's battle of the threes now. There weren't many in the first quarter, but all of a sudden both teams coming out firing from deep.
Spears puts it on the deck, finds Crawford, driving baseline, kicks it out. Betts has it, now over to Anderson. Spears top of the key for 3, it's too strong. Reichard hands off for Carter. Working against Josh Spears, a lot of contact. They're going to call a blocking foul on Josh Spears. Going to give Carter 2 shots also as he was making his move to the basket.
Yeah, he was on his way through the keyway. Looks like the Townsville boys aren't real happy with the call. But either way, Carter's...
He was definitely going to the basket.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I mean, he's picked the ball up. It's debatable as to whether he had quite picked the ball up or not, but I mean, he's not going anywhere but to the bucket, so benefit of the doubt, you've got to put him on that stripe. Zach Carter making the first.
Carter hits them both. Leads back up to 10. Justin Baker going to check in for Matt Reese. (43-33) the lead here with about 7:35 to go in the first half. Townsville is down 10. Betts over to Anderson. Wing 3 is up for Jamel Anderson. It's short. Reichard pulls it down for Brisbane. He's going to push up court. In a bit of trouble. He loses the ball. Anderson comes up with it. Betts out to Spears, him from the wing. It's too strong. Fighting for the rebound. There's a foul inside. It's going to go against Jamel Anderson. It's going to be Jamel Anderson's first personal. It's the second team foul of the quarter for Townsville. Kopsikis working against Betts, flips it up and in.
Yeah, nice strong drive to the inside. Kopsikis just taking that lead back out to 12 as we hold up for a shoelace.
Yeah, Kopsikis did a good job absorbing the contact, creating the space, and then finishing. Leads 12 now. Townsville needs a bucket here.
And I love, too, that there was a lot of contact on that. There was no call from the referees, and there was no questioning from the players either. And that's the kind of physicality you want to see, especially in a game like this where it is your top 4 teams.
Yeah, good job there by Anderson getting into the paint and finishing. Cuts the lead back down to 10. Kopskis driving baseline, kicks it over to Aaron Anderson, open in the corner. Great pump fake, steps into the long 2, rolls out. Carter offensive rebound, he's fouled on his way back up. Davis going to take a breather. Princeton Onwas back out on the court for Brisbane. Carter's free throw is short. Few dribbles from Carter. Second one goes up. That's good. 11 points of lead now for Brisbane with 6:15 to go. Anderson can't handle the pass. Aaron Anderson comes up with the steal, and he's fouled by Spears. Aaron Anderson trying to get the shooting foul call. They're going to call a sideline out of bounds. Spears second, fourth team foul for Townsville so far in the quarter.
Townsville really sharing the love with their fouls tonight, though. I think almost every single player, bar 2 or 3, seemed to have a personal. So no one in any kind of trouble. A lot of fouls being called. Really well officiated, but sharing the love.
Pass inside is stolen. PC steals it back, though. He's going to stop and pop the 3. Rolls in and out. Carter with the defensive rebound. Good end-to-end action here. Townsville doing a good job in transition. Carter has it. Now Aaron Anderson at the elbow for Reichard. He'll turn around and shoot his shots off, and Jamel Anderson with the defensive rebound. Josh Spears looking inside for Baker. He's double teamed. Skips passes, stolen by Aaron Anderson. Zach Carter pushing it up court, finds Onwas wide open. Three-pointer is short. Ethan Betts pushing it all the way. Layup is good. Timeout taken on the floor by Brisbane, so we'll take one as well. 4:40 to go in the first half, and Brisbane up 9 over the Townsville Heat. The QBL Game of the Week presented to you by Nothing But Net Media and Live Sport Australia. Back with you here at NAB Stadium in Auchenflower. 4:50 to go in the first half. Brisbane over Townsville, 46-37. It's been a lot of up and down action, Regan. Pretty good action for both teams.
Yeah, definitely so. It's been a very strong game, except Townsville's really sort of struggled in this second quarter. They kept themselves in it in that first, but Brisbane just starting to break away now in the second quarter here. They're just getting that lead that's slowly creeping up and maintaining there.
Brisbane doing a good job defensively. Townsville struggling to score in the quarter here. Foul before the play on Townsville. It's going to go on Jamel Anderson. That's his third. That's also Townsville's 5th team foul. It's going to send Seb Windsor to the line for a couple of shots. Wiltshire has checked back in to the game. I thought we didn't see him for a while with that injury. He's got the wrist taped up, but he hurt his knee a little bit in that first quarter. Windsor hits the first. He's back out there. It's a good sign for Townsville.
Yeah, I was going to say, Wiltshire just in a bit of the wars all over the place. To be honest, he fell over and hurt his knee. He got kicked in the head. His wrist's taped up now. Just getting injured left, right, and center, it seems.
Windsor hit them both. Lead is still 11 for Brisbane. Crawford, long two, rolls off the front of the rim. Spears tips it around. Rykart pulls it down, though. Windsor working against the defense, loses it. Wilcher pulls it down. He's looking to get to the bucket. Left-handed layup is good for Josh Wilcher. Really uses his body well to create that space, doesn't he?
Yeah, driving straight into the gutter, Seb Windsor as well, just drawing that contact in, especially with the right-hand side of his body, so that left-hand layup, it's got all that freedom with no blocking in front of it.
Anderson misses the three. Baker gets it for Townsville. They're down 9. They have an opportunity to cut it even further. Crawford skips it over to Jamel Anderson. Back to Wilcher now. Dumps it off for Baker. Layup is good. Nice job there by Wilcher, creating the easy two for Baker.
Yeah, Townsville getting themselves back into this game. Only 7 points now, down from about an 11-point lead that Capitals had earlier. Just starting to find their form inside.
Gone to his zone, Townsville. Onwis open from the wing. Can't get it to fall. It rolled in and out.
Yes, it's never fun when the dunny roll goes against you. It looks so good. Just finds a way to flip itself out as we come down the other end, and a nice little 2-point stop and pop for Crawford.
Crawford banks it home, cuts the lead to 5. Brisbane struggling against this zone here a bit. Now back to man. Windsor's going to fire a jump shot that's off. Rykart with the offensive rebound. And Crawford gets called for the foul, holding on to Dusty Rykart. Again, Townsville in the penalty, so Rykart's going to go to the free throw line for a couple shots.
Technical foul warning given by the referees as well.
Yeah, they gave the warning to Coach Rod Anderson. Having a chat to the referees, asking for the same call on both ends.
All of this talk of Andersons is just making me want to watch The Matrix. There's too many.
We're capped at 3. I think that's all 3 that we have on the floor. Well, Aaron Anderson's off the court at least. Rykart missed it. Shot blocked, though, by Spears. Got his own offensive rebound, went back up, and Spears with the nice block. Baker's hook shot is off. He was looking for the foul call, didn't get it. Christian Lamb for 3. His shot is an air ball. Crawford might have got a piece of that one. Then Seb Windsor gets called for the foul underneath the basket. Olegnowicz checks in for Dusty Rykart. Second personal foul and the second team foul for the Caps. Just about 2 minutes to go here in the first half. Pass stolen by Olegnowicz. Kopskis has it. He goes straight to the rim, dumps it off for Windsor, who's fouled. Looks like that one's going to go against Jamel Anderson. That's going to be his, I thought it was his 4th, but they're going to say that one was his 3rd. They must have switched one because I'm sure they had 3 on him before.
Yeah, it did look like that he had 4. I thought there was another one. There was a contested one a little bit earlier on, so maybe they went the other way. But either way, 3 fouls in the first half for Anderson is not a good position to be in.
Yeah, Jamel Anderson in a bit of foul trouble.
He might find himself sitting out a little bit in the third quarter to come back into the 4th.
Rod Henderson not happy with it. Windsor's free throw attempts are good, so lead goes back up to 8. Jamel Anderson has it now in the corner. He's double teamed, gets it out to Wilcher. Wilcher now Anderson again in the corner. Loses the ball out of bounds. They're going to say it went off of the foot of Princeton Onwis. 7 seconds to go on the shot clock for Townsville.
Yeah, 8-point deficit, sorry. Townsville's really going to want to find a way to make this 7 seconds count.
Crawford fires the wing three off the front of the rim. Baker, offensive rebound, goes right back up with it, and he's fouled. That one's going to go on Alecknowitz with the body. So Baker going to the free throw line for a couple shots. Third team foul on Brisbane as well. Minute 30 to go in the half. Baker hits the first one. Second one is good as well. So the lead cut to 6 with those 2 free throws. We got about just under a minute and a half to go in the first half now. Kopskis inside for Alecknowitz. Layup attempt falls in. Got it to roll home. He's been really effective in his minutes this afternoon, Alecknowitz. Again, after last night, Crawford fouled with the body by Kopskis. It's a blocking foul. It's going to be Anthony's, looks like his second. No, third.
That's his third personal foul. Subs coming in for Townsville, number 5,
Brendan McCulley checking in for Jamel Anderson. Crawford open for 3. He puts it up. Can't get it to fall. Alecknowitz comes down with the defensive rebound. We're under a minute to go in the first half. Windsor, turnaround jump shot. Doesn't fall. Wiltshire grabs the defensive rebound. A lot of contact with the body again. Wiltshire doing a good job pushing the ball up court. That foul's on Christian Lamb. It's the 15th foul, so Wiltshire is going to go to the line for a couple shots. Good recognition there by Wiltshire also. Gets the defender on his hip. He knows he's past him, so he's just going to make him foul him pretty much.
He's going to keep on driving until that bump gets called. So 8 points of difference. A chance to bring it back down to 6 for Townsville. 43 seconds left on the clock. They'll have another opportunity to score as well before we go into halftime. So Townsville could potentially cut what was a 12-point loss down to only a matter of a couple of points leading into the half.
Well, they're big free throws here for Wiltshire. He's definitely going to want to hit them both. But like you said, they want to play for that second second shot as well.
Just getting the floor wiped up here. A little bit of sweat left on the ground from Wiltshire as he fell down. Wiltshire hitting the deck a lot tonight. He's been running into a couple of problems, it seems. Hitting the deck more often than normal. So Wiltshire gets ready for his first shot. That one's good.
Checking the women's scores. The Lady Spartans up big on Southwest at the half, 49-33. And it looks like it's a final, or nearly a final in Gladstone. It's 77-56 Gladstone over Cairns with about 8:45 to go in the game in that one.
May not be the final, but that is final.
Windsor's going to fire a wing 3 that's short, tipped around. They're going to get a foul call there on Alecknowitz. So again, that foul in the Townsville in the bonus, so they'll go to the free throw line for a couple more shots. I think the foul was on Reese, so Reese is going to go to the line for 2 shots. So we thought Townsville might have the final shot, but it looks like might be Brisbane or Townsville. We'll see what happens with the free throw shots.
Yeah, depending on where the rebound comes, if the second shot is missed, Townsville potentially has the chance to get the 1 off the free throw in a layup attempt as well. If the second misses, could bring it down to within 4.
Reese working on his free throw stroke before he gets the ball. See what he does with the attempts. First one's good. Second one is good as well. Keegan Tudhope going to check in for Josh Wiltshire. And I believe the shot clock will be off here. Maybe not.
The shot clock's actually behind the game clock. I don't know how that operates, but either
It's
way,
pretty much off.
Capital should
There it is.
have the last passage of play.
The Brisbane will hold for the final shot, up 5. Kopskis gets it out to Windsor, kicks it to Lamb. Lamb's going to fire the wing 3. It's short. Crawford comes down with it, won't get a shot off, so we'll head into the halftime break with Brisbane up 5, 53-48. Pretty high-scoring first quarter, very similar to what we saw in the game last night with the Capitals and the Rip. Things settled down. Both teams struggled at times in the second quarter to score, but nonetheless, Brisbane's going to go into the big break up 5.
Yeah, definitely so. And I mean, this game could still go either way. 53-48, an incredibly high-scoring half of basketball. The potential for both teams to get into triple digits, which I don't think we've seen at all this season, unless the games have gone into overtime. Hugely high-scoring game. Both teams really performing out on the floor, and it really is a back-and-forward battle. Brisbane did get themselves up by, I think, a maximum of 12. I can't confirm that. Unfortunately, the live stats are down, so we don't have any details in front of us. I think they did get as high as 12, back down to 5. So Townsville really working their way back into this game to try and break some of that deficit into the third. I wouldn't be surprised if that third quarter goes in favor of Townsville.
Well, we'll see what happens. We'll get some statistics. We'll break those down for you, and we'll come back with the second half of action. It is halftime, and Brisbane's up 5, 53-48 over the Townsville Heat. Your QBL Game of the Week presented to you by Nothing But Net Media and Live Sport Australia. Back with you here at NAB Stadium in Auchenflower. It's halftime. Brisbane up 53-48 over Townsville. Taking a look at some of the statistics for the Brisbane Capitals in that first half, they shot 38% from the field. They were only 3 of 18 from 3. They did get to the free throw line 18 times. They hit 14 of those. They're doing a great job on the glass, are the Capitals. They've got 12 offensive rebounds, 26 rebounds in total. And that definitely helped their second chance points. They have 12 second chance points, so creating second chance opportunities for themselves and capitalizing on it. Leading the way on the score sheet for Brisbane was Princeton Onwas. He finished the half with 14 points and 3 rebounds. He was 4 of 9 from the field, a perfect 6 of 6 from the free throw line. Second leading scorer for the Capitals. And throwing it back, as usual, Dusty Reichart. He's on his way to a double-double. He finished the first half with 12 points and 8 rebounds, 3 of which were offensive. He was 5 of 9 from the field, 1 of 1 from 3, and 1 of 2 from the free throw line. Looking at Townsville, they shot 42% from the field. They were only 4 of 15 from 3 at 27% clip. They got to the free throw line 19 times. They hit 16 of those. 6 offensive rebounds, 24 in total for Townsville in that half. 6 of those rebounds were for Justin Baker. He was their leading scorer and the leading scorer in the game. He's got 17 points and 6 rebounds at the half. The only other player in double figures for Townsville was Peter Crawford. He had 10 points and 3 rebounds in the half. He was 2 of 5 from 3, 4 of 9 from the field overall. So pretty well-balanced attack. You have 2 leading scorers for each team and then a few other players on the score sheet.
Yeah, definitely. So I think it's going to be a very interesting second half of basketball as well. Like I said before the break, it really wouldn't surprise me if Townsville comes out absolutely firing and gets themselves up leading into the third quarter. They've obviously had a massive chat just about the way they're playing, because I don't think Townsville's necessarily doing anything wrong. You know, I think it's more so just that Brisbane's converted a slightly higher percentage in terms of their shots. Townsville's thrown up a couple, I think a few more. I think they've shot 42. Brisbane shot 38. So slightly different in terms of the percentages. But a much better game of basketball is going to be played by Townsville here in this second half.
Yeah, Townsville finished the half with 9 turnovers, so I'm sure Coach Anderson will mention that. Brisbane converted those 9 turnovers into 9 points. They're getting big contribution from their bench, all the Capitals, with 13 points coming off the bench. So a couple things to look at. It was a back-and-forth affair. The largest lead in the half was 12 by Brisbane, 45-33. The game was tied 4 times. There were 6 lead changes, but Brisbane led for 15 and a quarter minutes in that first half. Townsville only had the lead for about 4:30. We're underway here, though. Townsville now going right to left. They'll have an opportunity to score the first points of the half. Crawford's going to step up. 3-point shot is good for Peter Crawford. Picks up where he started the game, hitting from 3. Princeton Onwas, top of the key, 3 is good, so Onwas answers. That's his first 3-pointer of the night. Jamel Anderson has it, uses the pump fake, picks up his dribble. Now Reese over to Crawford. Wilcher now from the left wing, blocked by Kopskis, goes out of bounds off Dusty Reichart, though. I had the air ball on the tip of my tongue, but Kopskis got a piece of that one.
No, he had to get a piece of that one. There's no way that he would miss by that much from 3. So 7 seconds left on the shot clock. Baker straight away takes the jumper.
Kopskis pass knocked out of bounds by Baker.
Very tight struggle to keep the ball in. Townsville not happy with the call, but I think it was very 50-50 that one either way.
They wanted it. The whole bench sold it. Baker tried to sell it. Referee doing a good job, though. He was following the play right on the sideline.
Yeah, Mark Mill always on top of those kinds of passages of play. He had it right in front of him.
Carter gets to the rim. He's fouled there by Crawford. So Zach Carter going to go to the free throw line where he's 3 of 4 on the evening. So Carter at the free throw line. He's back. He didn't play last night. He wanted to play. He insisted on playing this afternoon with the minor premiership on the line. Hits the first one. Carter, he's got 6 points now, 4 rebounds, a couple assists. High arcing shot goes in. Lead is 7 for Brisbane. I just want to also give a shout out to Wayne Moore and Michael Van Dongen again for looking after us like they always do when we're here in Auchenflower. V-Dog joining you in commentary for the women's game, so we got to thank him as well. And Wayne looked after us last night and again looking after us. Aaron Anderson looking after his teammates, though, hitting another 3. The lead back up to double figures. It's 10 now for Brisbane.
Yeah, Brisbane come out firing in this first 2 minutes of this quarter. Come from 5 up to 10 up straight away. Townsville yet to put something away.
Crawford shoots an air ball. Onwis pass tipped. He's going to go straight to the rack. Dump it off for Reichart. Reese with the block, and he saved it from going out of bounds. Wiltshire can't get it to fall, but he's fouled on his way to the rim. That's going to go against Aaron Anderson, his first personal and the first team foul against Brisbane here in the third quarter.
Wiltshire's first is good. Second just hitting the back of the rim, bouncing out. Dusty Reichart coming down with yet another rebound. Aaron Anderson just settling things down here for the Capitals. Princeton Onwas kicks out. 8 seconds left on the shot clock. Anderson, nice little shot fake. Dusty Reichart with the 3 and drains it from deep. Taking the Capitals into the lead by 12, getting back into double figures.
Crawford looking to answer, has it stripped. It goes out of bounds off the hands of Dusty Reichart. Good pass inside. Reese can't finish, but he's fouled from behind by Princeton Onwis. It's going to be Onwis's 3rd personal foul. Matt Reese going to go to the free throw line for a couple of shots. Reese going to go to the free throw line. Let's see. He's got 2 of 2 from the free throw line. Rattles home the 3rd. Can't get the second to fall. Tipped around. Jamel Anderson comes down with it. Baker skips it over to Jamel Anderson. They're going to get Matt Reese for an offensive foul, clearing out Princeton Onwis.
Townsville bench definitely not real happy with that, but it was a very evident step back clear out, knocking Onwis onto the floor.
It was certainly heavy contact.
Yeah, I mean, Onwis is a pretty solid boy too, so it'd take a pretty heavy beating to knock him down.
9 points the lead here for Brisbane. 64-53. Kopskis drives the paint, kicks it out to Carter. Gets it out to Anderson. 3-pointer is good from Aaron Anderson. He was a bit quiet in the first half. He had 5 points. He's starting to heat up. He's into double figures with 11. Jamel Anderson loses the ball. Aaron Anderson comes up with it for Brisbane. Nearly traveled. Carter has it now, though. Kopskis on the wing. Back out to Anderson. Deep 3 is up. It's too strong. Wiltshire goes right at the defense. Lays it in with the left hand.
Yeah, nice finish there from Wiltshire.
12 points to the deficit for Townsville. Carter has it in the corner. Working against Reese. Good contest. Good finish, though, by Carter. Defensive foul called on Princeton Onwis. That's going to be his, I'm sure they gave, that was his 4th, but they said the 3rd. Do a better job checking the scoreboard here instead of making up silly fouls for people. Onwis picks up his 3rd, though. It's the 3rd team foul on Brisbane. Townsville has 2 at the 6:07 mark of the 3rd quarter. Reese gonna fire a three. It's good from Matt Reese. Cuts the deficit to 9.
Yeah, Townsville needs a few more of those to try and break away from this 11-point deficit. Brisbane really finding their feet in this third as Dusty Reichart gets stripped on the way to the bucket.
Spears recovered it. Wiltshire has it now. And then a hard foul there by Reese. He gets called for the offensive foul. The moving screen.
I wish I had switched onto that a little bit earlier. I only had the last little tip of that. It was definitely heavy contact.
Then technical foul called on the floor. To make it worse, Coach Anderson has been talking to the referees. Townsville's been asking for calls.
Yeah, look,
they did have the warning.
Yeah, I don't have too much of a problem with the technical foul because regardless, it was heavy contact on the floor. It was very much a 50-50 decision in terms of the illegal screen. I switched on a little bit late. I couldn't quite see as to whether position had been established or whether he stepped up last minute. So whether the call was right or wrong, it definitely was heavy contact. The players and the coach were all told to, just keep it down, to just, be respectful. And they continued to have another dig. I mean, they were asking for the technical foul, right or wrong, as to whether the actual illegal screen itself was correct.
Oh, the screen, you could see it looked like he braced himself. I don't think he was moving. He leaned into it, which is where I think the offensive foul call came from.
Either way, the technical foul free throw did go in, taking the lead 70-58. Capitals did have the ball again. Princeton Anwar's three-point shot bounced out.
Crawford looking inside for Reese, who flips it back out to Baker. Now Wiltshire has it. There's 14 on the shot clock. Spears' corner three is up. Good, plus the foul. That one's going to go against Dusty Reichart. That's the second time Spears has been fouled and hit the three-point shot.
Yeah, he's got a good finish. He doesn't let that contact affect the way that he's shooting. He knows that it's coming for him, but he just does his own thing. Still has the correct follow-through. Another 4-point play opportunity for Spears.
Yeah, he converted the first one. We'll see if he can convert the second.
Lead back down into single digits now as well for the Capitals. It's back down to 9.
Spears hits it, so it's to 8 now. 5:15 to go in the third. Onwitz has it now in the corner. He's in trouble, gets it out to Kopskas, under 10 on the shot clock now. Kopskas clears out, flips one up, loses it on the way up, recovers and misses again.
Good board there for Baker as well. Townsville now with the opportunity to cut the lead back again.
Wiltshire passes it through their legs of Seb Windsor. Reese loses it. Jacob Davis, I think, recovers. They're going to call a jump ball, and the possession arrow favors the Capitals.
Yeah, starting to get a little bit scrappy there on the floor. There's not too much more they can do other than call a jump ball situation before players end up clambering all over each other.
Gonna have to do a bit of mopping up here.
Considering the number of bodies on the floor, I assume it's probably going to be quite a lengthy mop break. Some very sweaty boys out on the field, I'm sure.
Let's see if we could find some out-of-town scores. No. Clicking on the wrong ones. The Cairns Dolphins and the Gladstone Port City Power Women is definitely a final. Final there was 98-79. Gladstone sews up the 4th spot, eliminating the Cairns Dolphins from finals contention. And the Spartans are up 15 over the Pirates in the women's side, 67-52. Just had the 4th quarter start. 10 points the lead here for the Capitals, 72-62. Crawford's step back three is good for Peter Crawford. He's been doing that for a long time.
Yeah, that was such a smooth three-point play. Just a nice little step back and just drained it with nothing but net.
7 points the lead here for Brisbane. Reichart fires a three. He gets that to rattle home. Dusty Reichart again is having himself a game, folks.
He's never going to be outshone. Anything that's done down one end, Dusty has the ability to bring it back into his favor.
Foul called there on Seb Windsor. That's the 15th foul for Brisbane. Going to put Crawford at the free throw line for 2 shots. Brendan McCulley getting set to check in. He's going to come in for, looks like he's coming in for Matt Reese. Dusty Reichart has 18 points and 9 rebounds at this stage of the game. So well on his way towards a double-double. As Crawford hits, that's Crawford's 17th point. He and Justin Baker lead the Townsville Heat and the game in scoring. Princeton Onwas also has 17 for the Caps. Foul called there on, thought they got that one on Crawford. His 3rd personal, 4th team foul for Townsville. Davis' 3-pointer is too strong. Baker comes down with the rebound. Spears in the corner, dribbles out, skips it over to Crawford in the opposite corner, who goes inside for Baker. Pump fake, contact there. That foul's going to go on Dusty Reichart, sending Baker to the line for a couple shots. Baker's been to the free throw line. This is going to be his 9th and 10th attempts of the afternoon.
Yeah, Baker's doing a lot of punishing work on the inside, really just dominating underneath, getting his own rebounds as well, and getting sent to the line quite a few times. Really good at drawing the foul as well.
Baker hit the first. Beautiful newborn baby right here. That's got to be a couple weeks about, I'd say.
Yeah, just sitting down in front of us. Very adorable.
Baker hits them both. Jamel Anderson going to check back in for Peter Crawford, and Aleknowitz going to check in for Reichart. 3:23 to go. Townsville still scrapping. They're down 7. Davis has it for the Caps. Now Windsor gets his feet in the paint. Tries to go cross court. They're going to call a kick ball there on Josh Spears. So the clock will reset to 14 with 3:08 to go. Davis, now Onwas, working against Spears, dumps it off for Aleknowitz. He's blocked by Spears. It's a great block there by Josh Spears. Wiltshire teardrop is too strong. Baker offensive rebound. Let's see who they get.
I think that'll be on Princeton Onwas.
That's definitely his 4th personal on Princeton Onwas.
Are we sure this time?
I'm 100% sure. It's on the scoreboard. I actually checked before I opened my mouth this time. Zach Carter going to check in for Onwas. Be interesting to see how long Onwas has a seat on the bench for.
Yeah, that's a big impact on the Capitals as well. I mean, Onwas has been having such a good game here tonight.
He's been the leading scorer for the Caps in the afternoon.
Yeah, so having him sit down for a little bit is really going to help Townsville get themselves back into this game. They're already back down to only 6-point deficit, soon to be 5. Having Onwas not on the scoring end for Capitals is going to make it even harder.
You jinxed Baker, he missed it. It's still 6.
Typical
Sure,
commentator's
we'll get
curse.
some comments from the Townsville faithful about that one.
Yeah, I'm sure Paul won't ever let me live that one down.
McCauley with the kick ball. Can you give someone a tag for excessive kicking of the ball? Is that, or you can kick it, you just reset the shot clock?
No, I don't. Well, but unless things have changed in the last 2 years since I've started refereeing, no. I mean, it's annoying, but it's not really something you can give a tech foul for.
Anderson open for 3. It's good. There's a foul somewhere in there. Not sure who they're going to give that one on. I think it went on Baker. So Aaron Anderson hits the 3. He's at 15 points now. Brisbane's got 3 players in double figures, led by Dusty Reichart's 18. Anderson's free throw attempt is good, so he completes the 4-point play. We've had 3 of those today, which is pretty special.
Pretty huge. I don't think we've come across that in our 2 years of live streaming QBL.
Don't have many of them. Oleknowitz steals it on the other end. Anderson going to stop and pull up for 3. It's off. Wiltshire with the rebound, and then he's fouled by Christian Lamb.
That was a smart play from Wiltshire as well. He knew where Lamb was coming from and just intentionally got himself in the way to take the hit. So he'll come down the other end now for a couple of free throws. 10 points, the deficit out to again.
Yeah, Wiltshire gets a couple of freebies here, a couple cheap ones, which is good. Stops the clock. His team's down 10. Zach Carter demonstrating how Wiltshire picked up that foul. To the referees, just making sure, guys, is this definitely a foul? We want to make sure. One of 2 for Wiltshire. Jamel Anderson with the offensive rebound. Nearly had it stolen by Aaron Anderson. They're going to get Aaron Anderson for the reach-in foul. Jamel Anderson going to go to the line for a couple shots. It's going to be his first attempt so far this afternoon for Jamel Anderson.
Yeah, Anderson's been having a great game, but he hasn't done a lot from inside, I don't think. I mean, defensively, he's been really influential and having a massive impact on the game, but scoring-wise and inside offensively, I don't think he's had much of an impact in the game tonight.
No, he struggled from the field. He's 2 of 7 from the field, 1 of 4 for 3. He's now 1 of 2 from the free throw line. Cuts the lead to 8. Just about 2 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Caps up 8. Townsville is battling. They just can't cut it to really that 4-5 mark. Carter in the corner for 3. It's good from Zach Carter. Back up to 11 now, the lead. Spears leaves his feet. He's fouled there by Zach Carter. So Spears is going to go to the line for a couple shots.
Yeah, the crowd definitely not happy about that one. Probably the most vocal I've heard them tonight.
Spears has hit both of his free throw attempts. Townsville's attempted 34, they get 35 free throws this afternoon. They've hit 26, 35.
Yeah, that's huge. That's too many. You should not be fouling that often, especially not on the shot as well, because not all of those have been as a result of 5 team fouls. A lot of those have just been standard 1 to 5 fouls, and they've been putting them on the line. They're not playing smart defense at the moment, the Capitals.
Well, they're up 9. The three-point shot has started to fall for them in the third quarter here. Anderson working one-on-one with Jamel Anderson. Good ball movement leads to a Carter 3. That's too strong off the front of the rim. Baker comes down with it. That's his 9th rebound. He's nearly at that double-double mark. Jamel Anderson with the pump fake goes inside to Baker. It's kick ball called on Aaron Anderson. So shot clock resets to 14 for Townsville at the Brisbane basket. Inbound to Baker, gets the bucket plus the foul.
And again, it's just not smart defense from the Capitals. Surely by now they would realize that the referees are calling all those stupid little niggly hands in body contacts, you know, regardless of whether you think it's soft or not. If that's the way the referees are calling the game, I mean, you've got to adapt to that. So I can guarantee you're not going to change the way the referees are reffing the game. So if they're calling that soft stuff, then you need to adjust to that. You just need to get your hands out.
Jamel Anderson gets called for the over the back on Baker's missed free throw. So that's going to send Brisbane to the free throw line and Zach Carter for a couple shots. We're only in the third quarter also, remember that. 82-75.
That's
Looking
huge.
at the total free throw attempts. Brisbane's got, this is going to be their 23rd and 24th while Townsville has 37. 60 free throws in 3 quarters. That's a lot.
That's 30 trips to the free throw line.
Carter missed them both. Lead stays at 7. Townsville has an opportunity to chip into it on this possession. Crawford picks up his dribble, finds Spears open in the corner. Now Wiltshire uses the pump fake to get some space, puts up the 3. It's too strong.
So just under a minute to go here. Capitals with the, what is it? I can't do math. 7-point lead.
7.
It's Sunday. I'm not trying to do math.
Davis a little out of control, misses the layup attempt. Wiltshire looks inside for Spears. Layup is good. Brisbane, smart play, holding for the final shot of the quarter. Clock didn't stop after the bucket. The inbounds
intentionally slow to go and pick up the ball just to waste the clock down, so they do get to hold for the last shot. And it looks like, unless Aaron Anderson can make some magic happen, it'll be a 5-point lead again leading into the third quarter.
Carter dumps it off for Olegnowitz. Layup is good. Olegnowitz beats the buzzer, and heading into the break, it's a 7-point lead for Brisbane over Townsville. We're going to take a break, and we'll come back with the final quarter of action here on your QBL Game of the Week, presented to you by Nothing But Net Media and Live Sport Australia. Welcome back to NAB Stadium in Auchenflower. It's just about the start of the fourth quarter. It's a 7-point lead for Brisbane over Townsville, with the minor premiership on the line for the Capitals and second place on the line for Townsville. Townsville starts the quarter with the possession. Looking for Baker inside. It's stolen by Reichart. And I like the idea, just poorly executed by Townsville. Baker's been tremendously effective for them this afternoon, but he hasn't really had enough opportunities. Anderson wants to go one-on-one with Justin Baker. Goes right at him. Layup is off, and Baker comes down with the rebound. There's his double-double for Justin Baker. Top of the key 3 for Baker. Rattles home. He can hit that. He cuts the lead to 4.
I think this is the shortest lead that we've seen the Capitals have since probably the first quarter. So really trying to get themselves back into this game. 4 points is easily doable.
Carter goes right at the defense, can't hit. Then Baker grabs the rebound. Wiltshire wide open for 3. That's off the front of the rim. That would have been a huge bucket for Townsville. Under 10 on the shot clock for Brisbane. Windsor has it out to Kopsakis. He gets inside, dumps it off for Reichart. Reichart finishes through the contact, and he's going to the line for a three-point play. That's a great job there by Kopsakis, making something out of nothing. And then a better job by Reichart to finish through a hard Justin Baker foul.
Yeah, that was a huge bucket from Dusty, and such a veteran move as well. Is he takes that big hit, waits a set like a half a second while he's in the air before executing the nice clean shot.
He misses the free throw though, so the lead stays at 6 for Brisbane. We've got 8:20 to go in the game. Spears open for three, rolls in and out. It touched the net and then came out of the net.
Yeah, it definitely looked good out of the hands as well. And Spears has been having a great game from deep.
And Dusty Reichart went right at Baker, finished again through the contact, and gonna go to the line again for a three-point play opportunity. Reichart, guys, he's had a great weekend. Finished it with double figures last night. He's got another double-double this afternoon. He's now got 22 points and 10 rebounds.
Yeah, he's absolutely loving it here today, and he's really made a difference for the Capitals. 2 big three-point plays in a row. Couldn't convert the last one. Hopefully it's a different situation here, but having such a big impact on this last quarter.
And those 2 fouls against Justin Baker give him 4, and he's got to take a breather. Not happy with the calls. Not happy being on the bench either. He can't help his team from the bench.
Lead back up to 9 now for the Capitals. Townsville really need to go to work. Wiltshire working through some tough contact, picking up the call at the last moment. I think that'll go against Kopsakis.
It's going against Dusty Reichart. Going to be Dusty's 4th personal. He and Kopsakis double teamed. He got him with the body. Let's see if Coach Tarrant goes to the bench. He's going to leave Reichart in there with 4 fouls. Crawford for 3. It's wet. Cuts the lead to 6. Carter driving baseline, finds Kopsakis wide open. Good cut there by Kopsakis and a nice find by Carter. Crawford again for 3. It's too strong. Kopsakis pulls down the defensive rebound. Now Windsor has it for Brisbane.
Probably not the right shot opportunity there from Crawford either. Right over a big defensive hand in his face.
Carter answers on the other end with a three-pointer, and it's back up to 11 now, the lead for Brisbane.
And that's what happens when you don't take the good shot opportunities. There was plenty of time left on the shot clock. Crawford deciding to do things himself. Instead of getting the points, it ended up on being a 6-point swing in the other favor.
That foul is going to go against Aaron Anderson. It's going to be his 3rd personal foul, 2nd team foul of the quarter. Jamel Anderson going to check in for Wiltshire, and Matt Reese going to check in as well for Townsville. Josh Spears going to get a breather. Jamel Anderson gets it over to McCulley. Now Crawford wide open in the corner. His shot is short. Windsor kicks it ahead now for Kopsakis. Kopsakis is fouled there by McCulley. It's a blocking foul. Going to be a baseline out of bounds. 3rd foul called there on Brendan McCulley. It's the 3rd team foul for Townsville. 6:35 to go in the game. And the Heat are down 11.
Yeah, Townsville got a lot of work to do. They managed to get the lead back down to only 4 for the Capitals. They just haven't managed to execute the last couple of times down the court. And just not getting a hand in the face of the Capitals shooters. They've got an easy couple of buckets to take the lead back out to the 11 points it is now.
Carter stops and pops. Misses. Tudhub pulls it down, and he pushes up court for Townsville. Jamel Anderson works it over to McCulley now. Back to Anderson. Crawford dumps it inside. Tudhope. Pass is stolen by Anderson. Anderson goes right, pull-up jumpers off. Then Anthony Kopskus fouls Keegan Tudhope on the rebound. That's going to be Kopskus' fourth, and Coach Tarrant going to take a timeout, so we'll take one as well. Just under 6 minutes to go. It's an 11-point lead for Brisbane over Townsville. The QBL Game of the Week presented to you by Nothing But Net Media and Live Sport Australia. We're back at NAB Stadium in Auchenflower. Under 6 to go in the game. 94-83 the lead for Brisbane over Townsville. Townsville, like you said, Regan, before the break, they've got some work to do. They need to string together a few stops and get some buckets on the other end.
Yeah, I don't think it's so much scoring that's hurting them at the moment. It's getting the defensive stop on the Capitals. They just continue racking up points. Again, unfortunate turnover for Townsville, just stepping on the line as he drove into the basket. It's not what you need with 5.5 minutes to go when you're down by 11.
Another turnover out of a timeout. Coach Anderson definitely would not be happy with that. Jamel Anderson nearly picks up his 5th foul. Dusty Reichard on the baseline. He's double teamed, spins away from it. Layup is good. Fakes the reverse and fakes out the defense. They're going to get Dusty Reichard for reaching in. That's his 5th personal, so he's going to be done for the afternoon. Can't say he didn't contribute, though. He's got 23. He'll leave with 23 points, 10 rebounds and assists, a couple steals as well. So Dusty Reichard having himself an afternoon, but he's done for the afternoon now, unfortunately for the Capitals.
I say not even an afternoon. He's been having himself an entire weekend.
He was great last night for the Rip. He was great again this afternoon. Crawford finds Anderson, who lays it in. Lead cut to 11. 5 minutes to go in the game. Then Jamel Anderson gets a hand on it. Tudhope comes up with the steal. Wiltshire trying to work off the double screen. Gets it to Jamel Anderson, loses it. Reese catches, finishes, plus the foul. A bit of luck there for Townsville. They needed it. The ball was knocked into the hands of Reese right under the basket.
Yeah, that couldn't have fell into a better set of hands. Townsville getting a little bit lucky, but very good skill as well, executing the 2 points and going to the line as well.
And that foul was on Anthony Kopskus. That's his 5th, so he's done also for the afternoon.
Yeah, the last couple of passages of play have definitely really gone in Townsville's favor, keeping them alive. Still down by 9, but no Dusty Reichard, no Anthony Kopskus. Things are getting a little bit tougher for the Capitals to keep themselves up with this lead.
And a lane violation there. Brisbane also has 5 team fouls, so any other fouls will stop the clock and put Townsville on the free throw line. Princeton Onward's three-pointer is short. Jake Davis, reverse layup is good, and he's fouled by Crawford.
That was a great finish from Davis as well.
Great rebound and a great finish, like you said. Jake Davis. It's been quiet this afternoon. That's his 7th points.
Yeah, and Crawford not happy with himself either, having his hands on his head before. I think he knows that he got him, just not impressed with the way that he executed that passage of defense.
I don't think PC thinks he fouled him. You see him questioning the referees. It's definitely with the body. I don't think it was the arm.
I don't think there was any doubt in anyone else's mind that was a foul.
Mel Anderson gets it to Baker. It's knocked out of bounds by the Capitals, so it's going to stay with Townsville. Coach Anderson's going to take a timeout, so we'll take one as well. 4:10 to go in the game. It's a 99-87 lead for the Capitals over Townsville in your QBL Game of the Week, presented to you by Nothing But Net Media and Live Sport Australia. Back with you here at NAB Stadium in Auchenflower. 4:14 left on the game clock. Townsville is down 12. Inbound to Baker. He puts it in, cuts it to 10. Carter has it in the corner. They're working around to Onwitz with 10 on the shot clock. He goes at Crawford. Left-handed layup is good. Too easy for Princeton Onwitz. Triple figures for Brisbane. They got 101. They're up 12.
Yeah, next to no defense on that passage of play. That would not be what Coach Anderson wants to see.
Baker is fouled. He's going to go to the line for a couple shots. That one's going to go against Seb Windsor. That's his 4th personal as well. Brisbane might have to hope they win this one in regulation, because they're might be down a few. They're already down 2. They might be down a few others.
Yeah, they're starting to run into foul trouble. They've lost Dusty Reichard and Kopskis so far. Seb Windsor's in a little bit of trouble, as is
Princeton Onwitz.
Onwitz as well, yeah.
Baker hit them both. Townsville needs to get some stops, though. They can't continue to trade buckets with Brisbane. Onwitz, stop and pop. Gets it to roll. We saw them feature Onwitz early going. They went away from him, but he loves any matchup so far he's had this afternoon. He's really gone at them one-on-one.
Yeah, Onwitz has had a great game, not only today, but last night as well. He's been really, really performing, doing amazing things for the Capitals.
Baker's going to fire a jump shot. That's good. But again, Townsville needs stops. They're trading baskets here. Brisbane has that 10-point lead. And we're under 3 minutes to go now. Seb Windsor with the left hand gets it to fall.
Again, not enough defense from Townsville to stop those kinds of points. It seemed all too easy for Seb Windsor to get his way into the bucket.
Wiltshire inside for Baker, lays it in.
Townsville needs to get themselves a stop. They're scoring okay at the moment. They just need to get the stop on the Capitals. They're not stopping that dribble penetration down through the center of the keyway.
Onwitz gets it out to Windsor. It's nearly stolen. Jake Davis now inside the paint. Finger roll is no good. They're going to call an offensive foul as Baker steps up to take the charge.
I don't even think that's an offensive foul. I think that's a regular foul after the ball left his hand, so we're traveling down the other end for 2 shots as well.
I didn't call. I thought they did call the charge. They said a push.
Yeah, so
after the play.
Yeah, so anything when the ball is in the hands of a shooter is an offensive foul. If the ball has left his fingers when the contact occurs, the ball has deemed to have left his possession, so it's just a regular foul.
So the shot would have counted if it went in?
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
So in that situation, if Jake Davis had have got the points, it would be points count, foul, 2 shots down the other end.
Well, he missed the shot. The clock stops. Baker goes to the free throw line for 2. And he hits the first.
Can we just check the stat on how many free throws Baker is up to now? He's got to be getting close to 20.
These are his 16th and 17th attempts. And he's hit 14 of 17.
That is huge.
Still, again, a lot of free throws, though. 42 for Townsville, 27 for Brisbane, and Anderson lays it in on the other end.
Again, Townsville they need to get that defensive stop. That's the third out of 4th play where they've just driven straight down the center and there hasn't been anyone in front of them to stop them from getting the bucket.
Now we're under 2 to go, and Brisbane still holds this 10-point lead. Townsville's got to try and force some turnovers. Anderson again finds Davis open for 3. It's up. It's too strong. Tipped around. Aaron Anderson recovers it for Brisbane after Carter tipped it out. Anderson with a step through. Can't get it to fall. Crawford fires a 3. It's an air ball. And then they're going to give Peter Crawford a technical foul. He wanted the foul call. Then he gets teched up.
He's well and truly on his way to getting a second one as well. If I can hear that comment from here, the referees have to be thinking about the second.
I think that's his. I think that counts as the 5th personal anyway, so he's done for the afternoon. So Aaron Anderson's going to go to the free throw line, shoot the technical. Max Murray going to check in for Peter Crawford.
Sideline.
1:20 to go. 11 points the lead for Brisbane. It's almost too little, too late, especially if Townsville can't get a stop on this possession.
Yeah, Townsville's defense just hasn't been on point in this last quarter to prevent Capitals from racking up over 100.
Davis missed the 3. Wiltshire has it now. Dumps it off. Baker lays it in. 9 points the lead. Townsville going to try and force some turnovers here. No, they're not. Carter going to work some clock. Gets it to Anderson, looking to go one-on-one with Jamel Anderson. A lot of contact. That's Jamel Anderson's 5th personal as well, and Aaron Anderson going to go to the free throw line for 2 shots.
Yeah, I think that's all over for Townsville. Crawford's out, Anderson's out. 2 of their biggest players on the inside to pull the offensive and defensive boards. They'll find themselves in a little bit of trouble now, down by 9, 40 seconds to go, and 2 free throws to give away as well.
Matt White going to check in to the game. Wiltshire sat on the bench thinking he was getting subbed out. They left him with 4 on the court. So Anderson's 2 puts it back up to 10. And it looks like the Brisbane Capitals are going to be your minor premiers. And they're going to have home court advantage throughout the QBL finals. If they make it to the grand finals, they'll be home yet again. It looks like the Townsville Heat are going to finish 3rd on the ladder. So depending on results this afternoon, that's who Townsville could play, potentially Cairns again. They might play the USC Rip, who knows?
Yeah, it's so hard to tell until all these games come in and we know what the splits are. It's impossible to know who's going to be versing who. It's a quick little turnover there for Brisbane with 4 seconds left on the clock.
And it was just, Townsville was good in spurts. I think they just couldn't get the defensive stops really when they needed them this afternoon.
No, absolutely. And like I said, both teams have hit triple digits. So offensively, both teams played amazing tonight. I just think Capitals' defense was really on point, where especially in this 4th quarter, Townsville, they just slacked off a little bit and they didn't get the defensive stops that they needed. There were three quick opportunities in a row where Townsville's got an awesome bucket, come down the other end, and they just let Capitals walk into the keyway and take a bucket. I mean, you got to do the good work offensively, but you got to bust your butt and get back and play some defense as well.
Yeah, congratulations to the Brisbane Capitals, your 2017 QBL minor premiers. They're going to finish first at the top of the ladder at the end of the regular season with this 109-102 victory over the Townsville Heat. The Heat will be in 3rd place. Mackay has that 2nd slot locked up. We'll take a quick look at the stats and we'll wrap things up because we know they need the court where we're set up here. Final stats, Brisbane was led by Dusty Reichardt's 25 points and 10 rebounds. They shot 43% from the field, 34% from 3, and 74% from the free throw line. Also in double figures for Brisbane was Aaron Anderson with 16. Princeton Onwas had 17. Zach Carter also had 15. My stats just froze up, unfortunately, so I can't get to the Townsville stats. Let me see if I could find it for us.
In terms of why that's loading up, I can at least give you where the points came from, Johnny. So Justin Baker topped all scorers in the game. He ended up getting 37. Looking down the list as well, Peter Crawford ended up getting 20.
Yeah, and then you had Josh Wiltshire with 12. Spears had 15. Townsville shot 50% from the field, 35% from 3, and they hit 31 of 42 free throw attempts for 74%. They did have 18 turnovers, which hurt them because Brisbane capitalized and converted that to 20 points. But nonetheless, it's a 109-102 victory for the Capitals over Townsville here this afternoon. That's going to do it for us, folks. We don't know what QBL finals we'll have for you next week. We will be presenting a quarterfinal matchup, a semifinal matchup, and every game of the grand finals in both the women's and men's competition for you here on Nothing But Net Media and Live Sport Australia. Got to thank Jacob Beals on the camera, Regan Baker on the production and commentary. Also want to thank James Bowman from Australia Sports Network down in Sydney for his support and his fantastic graphics throughout the season. Again, thank Wayne Moore and Michael Van Dongen here in Brisbane for looking after us. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in to another presentation of QBL Basketball by Nothing But Net Media and Live Sport Australia.